Well, welcome. This is Melissa Sheehane. I support the Climate Hub Partnership Project grant, and I'm here with one of our extension educators, Andrew Lewis. He's going to tell us a little bit about a program he designed that other extension agents can use. Andrew, if you could tell us a little bit about the overview of this program.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me and helping me with this. The title of it depends, and I know as an extension educators, we get that a lot of questions, and usually the answer is it depends. This specific one is about grazing. Um, the facilitator would be somebody in extension, usually an ag agent or a natural resource agent. I found this is usually towards landowners, newer landowners, but old dogs can learn new tricks too. If you time in the questions, this presentation specifically can be about an hour with all the questions that it'll churn up from some of these people. The purpose, explain the difference between grazing and actual acres, build that foundation, understanding of what a sustainable grazing management plan looks like, um, connecting grazing calculations to climate smart agricultural practices, highlighting how proper grazing management helps prevent overgrazing, and emphasizing the benefit of the soil nutrient cycle and the green grass regrowth.
Great. Well, I know that many of our educators, you have to start somewhere. So tell me a little bit about why did you choose this topic in particular?
Well, it's just something that's relative to my area, and I know in extension, usually if somebody's got a symptomatic problem, there's at least another county somewhere in Texas, maybe not even next door, that has that problem. And so addressing this problem with landowners, maybe that don't understand grazing and tend to overgraze, which, overgrazing, bad grass, bad cattle, open soil is not as good as covered soil, things like that. So hopefully aiming to raise the awareness and get some folks on board to be better stewards of their land.
Great. I really appreciate in having conversations with you about some epiphanies you've had related to your work in the field. And so I loved this realization you shared. If you don't mind to expand on when you find it's kind of a ripple effect, right? So if one
Right.
land adopts, then maybe more will. Have you seen that in practice?
Yes, yes. So, real lucky to have worked with a few people on this, and the neighbor's pasture was real green. Well, I want a real green pasture, and so explaining to them that you can't have 20 cows on 20 acres without a really intensive grazing management plan going on, and explaining that to them and seeing their eyes go, oh, okay. Well, that whole neighbor, my neighbor's got a green pasture, I want a green pasture kind of deal, is just hopefully getting the folks kind of in gear to look at their neighbor and say, I want that green pasture too.
I really appreciate in seeing you work through your design process was really drilling in on a nice hefty list of resources that you've kind of curated in a package to share with folks that may want to do this. And so in looking back, I kind of wanted you to talk about what are some of the like maybe what's the most important resource you would want somebody to check out from doing this work.
It's right there on the screen. It's that grazing yardstick. I have four or five that I've collected over the years and keep and try to hand out anytime somebody comes in with a question related to that. The one that is the real popular one, has the grazing start and grazing stop height for all the different, like you know just Bahia grass, Bermuda grasses, your blue stems, and I think there's just a miscellaneous grasses on it, and it's got a height where if you stick the yardstick on the ground, it tells you when to start and when to move them off of it. And I mean, that's just one of those bare bones, simplistic, hey, here's a literal measuring stick to get started. And then as you grow in your stewardship of your land, your management of your animals, you'll know about when you need to move them. And eventually that yardstick is just something that rides around in the truck. And then the rest of the resources, these were just So you don't have to go out there and search all of them. These are really good ones. There's probably some better ones that I couldn't find, or some that maybe pertain to your situation better than these. But these are a short list of really good from all over extension. Colorado State's on there. New Mexico had a great one. Oklahoma State, just about intensive grazing management and rotational grazing and things that are pertinent to this presentation.
Great. I appreciate those resources, and our listeners will have to check that out in the documents under your profile. One piece that I know this presentation that you designed is kind of for, a small to, it could be even a large audience of mixed
Mhm.
landowners. But one thing I really enjoyed in chatting with you is just thinking about one-on-one conversations with landowners and what the benefit of that leads to. So I don't know if you could speak to that a little bit too.
Yes, just getting that one-on-one conversation, when you talk to the big audience, which for me is like 7+ people, uh, there's always that one who maybe wants to hang around and ask some questions, and those have been some of the funnest learning experiences for me, if we're being honest, is learning what they see or how they think about stuff. An example of that, if you give me the time, I called one of our soil specialists and had some questions. And he was like, he gave me the answer right off the top of his head. And I was like, I don't understand. And what for him was just this core building block of knowledge, and he realized I didn't have it. And so he broke it down again and was like, well, this is why you do it this way. And so, it clicked for me after that, but he had to remember that not everybody has those building blocks. And I know I kind of walk into the room and assume I'm not the smartest one in the room. And, there's tons of times where people are at these because they don't, at our programs and extensions, because they don't know, or they want to know, or they want to improve their knowledge. So pulling somebody aside and seeing maybe that building block they don't have and being able to give it to them, or go through the process with them and see it click. That's every educator I know, that click when the light bulb goes on, their eyes get big and they realize they know it. Those are like the best moments, the aha moments that are right there in the next little bullet point.
Love that. Love that. Well, as we kind of close out and think about working in the extension space, what is your advice you'd give an extension educator who might want to use some of these tools and thinking about your own experience and journey?
As far as the PowerPoint, it's like I said, it's real simple. You can get out there and use it. It's maybe the thing is addressing the audience, being scared to get those one-on-one conversations, because what if they do know more than me? Well, the good thing is, as extension, especially if you're humble, you might learn a lot from them. But just the time, there's a lot of people that just want that time. Like I said, meeting somebody over some breakfast or a lunch, and I just spilling this information to them or sharing it with them. And then our we work for an institution. Most all agents work for extension agents work for an institution that usually is very proud, and their state is very proud of. So sometimes they think, even though not saying if you have a bachelor's you don't know more, or sometimes as much or more of somebody with a PhD, they think somebody who is infinitely knowledgeable in every topic that they might come through the door with sits in that office. And sometimes that's daunting. So getting out there and meeting some of those folks in a non structured setting, like just some breakfast or lunch, it gets puts them at ease and gives you an opportunity to maybe get some free breakfast.
Yeah, and definitely deepen those relationships
Yes.
because that's where trust is foundational. So, well, Andrew, I appreciate you taking some time to walk us through a few tips and educational moments and reflections that you had in designing this. And we hope that our listeners are able to apply this knowledge and use this as a building block, as Andrew said.
Excellent, thank y'all very much.
Thanks.